Thank you for joining us from your home practice today. For today's practice, you're going to need 2 blocks. And if you don't have 2 blocks, perhaps some thick books would work, or something else that can provide a little bit of stability for you. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to be working on our core today, so taking it slow and moving respectfully through these poses. These poses can be really activating in the core, activating in the lower back, the lumbar spine as well. So we'll be sure to take some stretching and in between. And as always, take it to the degree or the level that feels safe and comfortable for you. You don't have to try to push to until it hurts, right? Okay. All right, so we're just going to begin here in a seated position. So allow yourself to find a little bit of softness through the body. And if you'd like to take one of your blocks and place it in between your back and the seat, you can. That gives you a little bit more length through the spine. It's up to you. And then just begin to settle into your seat. If you feel comfortable and safe in closing your eyes down, allowing your gaze to go more internal, taking your awareness into your heart space, your breath, and just observing the cadence of your breath as it moves in and out. Noticing its depth, its texture. And perhaps deepening your breath just a bit, allowing the breath to move a little lower into the lungs. And letting yourself take a body scan from the top of your head down to your toes. And acknowledging the places within you that feel awesome today. And also acknowledging those spaces within you that need a little extra tenderness, some nurturing. And honoring all parts of you, perhaps setting your intention for practice, an intention that aligns with your internal landscape and how you're feeling today. And bringing your awareness back to your breath. And if you'd like to join me, bringing your hands to heart center, prayer mudra, just taking a moment for reverence. Reverence for yourself, reverence for your practice, reverence for all that you are. And know that all of you is welcome here today. In a few moments, we'll be using our hands and our breath to deepen into the body, a little movement. I'll guide you through 3 rounds of breath where we'll inhale for 3, we'll exhale for 6. And collectively, let's take 1 deep breath in, as much as accessible, down into the body. And exhaling, releasing all that's left unsaid, anything left undone, and all things that will be just to wait outside the door. Letting this next hour be just for you. And on to your next inhale, if you'd like to add a little bit of light into your eyes. And settling into your exhale. And this inhale, lifting up your hands up towards the sky, perhaps your head, your eyes, watch your thumbs as you lift your hands up on your inhale for 3. And exhale for 6. Arms float down to the sides of the body. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hands back to prayer mudra and lifting for 1, 2, 3, and release. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, prayer mudra. Once again, inhale, lift, lengthen through the spine, expand your breath deeper into the lungs as you reach the top, and release. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allowing your breathing to return to normal. We'll take a little bit of a neck stretch to begin with. So taking your left hand out to the side of your body, thumb down, so you have an internal rotation to your arm, and then bending your elbow, taking that hand behind your back. See if it can go. If you have a block back in there, you might want to move it off to the side. Maybe scoot towards the front of your seat. Now with that hand behind your back, on the left side, tilt your right ear to your right shoulder and taking your right hand and resting it upon your temple. A little bit of a neck stretch here. And allowing gravity to do its work. Letting all the lymphatic fluid to drain out of your neck and out of your face. Reducing some puffiness that comes into the face, especially good in the mornings. And let your left shoulder melt down away from your neck, your right shoulder melt down. And on your next inhale, releasing the right hand, lifting the head back up, releasing the left arm, and maybe giving that shoulder a little whirl, a little shake. Kind of a deep stretch into the front side of the shoulder with that internal rotation. And then taking it to the other side, right hand reaches out, thumb down, and bending that right hand, taking a bind. And then left ear to left shoulder, left hand rests upon the temple. And melting the shoulders away from the ears. And just tuning into your breath, softening any places that you feel tension in the body. On your next inhale, releasing your hand from your head, your right arm reaches out and back down, perhaps taking a little circle with the shoulders. All right, moving into the body, scooting a little more towards this edge of your seat if you need to. Feet a little bit wider than hip width distance, and the legs are at a 90-degree angle, so the knees are stacked on top of the ankles, so you have that foundation to be able to move. And we'll inhale, lifting both hands up towards the sky, then bending elbows, placing hands onto your back. Nice tall spine, shoulders melting back down away from the ears, activating your core muscle as you lengthening an inhale, and exhaling, hinging over to your right. Bending from the upper part of your rib cage, gluing down the left sits bones back down into the seat as you bend over to the right. Inhaling, rising back to neutral, exhaling to your left. Right sits bones connects once again back to the seat as you reach and bend. We'll flow this 2 more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale to your right. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the left. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, last time to the right. Inhale, lift. And taking it to the left. Inhale as you sit all the way up, lifting your hands, reaching up. Take a good morning stretch. Maybe the right hand reaches up, maybe the left, just reaching in, and a slight bend to both sides of your rib cage, lengthening through the intercostal muscles. It feels really good to stretch. On your next inhale, leaving both hands up towards the sky, lengthening your spine, let your shoulders melt away from your ears. On your exhale, Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, rotate towards the right side. Perhaps your hands connect with the back of the seat. Left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Opportunity to lengthen the spine on your inhales, and on your exhales, use the leverage of the connection of your hands to rotate a little bit more to a degree that feels good in your body. Inhaling, unwind both hands back up towards the sky, and then exhale over to your left side. And inhaling, unwind, hands reach once again for the sky. We'll take a little cactus back bend, cactusing your arms, squeezing the shoulders, sending your heart and sternum up and forward. Inhale, coming back to neutral, hands for the sky. Exhale, bringing the palms together, finding that prayer mudra. Once again, recommitting to that intention that you set earlier in your practice. And then letting the hands come down to the sides or to the thighs. We're going to begin with our feet here. So bringing the feet back to that hip width distance apart and working through the core. Just start to march, a little gentle march here. Lifting the feet as much as feels good for you. Can be a little bit or a lot. Just lifting to the degree that feels good. We're going to be marching quite a bit. We're going to build upon this in just a few moments. So taking it easy with your march to begin with, just to warm up. All right, we're going to build onto this, adding, so I'd like now for you to take your right foot and tap it out, and then reach your right arm across the left side like you're reaching for something. So you'll feel that stretch along this whole right side, and then bring that, whatever you're grabbing, back in and your foot back in. Tap out the left side and reach across, bringing them both back in. And just alternating sides, continuing with your movement here to reach out and back in. Letting your foot there connect with the ground as you tap out and tap back in. And remember your breath. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to come back together. Inhale and exhale. If you kick your partner, it's okay. It's a loving kick. A footsie. All right. Now if you want to go a little faster, you can, but take it easy. Doesn't have to be really fast, just slightly challenging to you, right? Taking it to the degree that feels right for you, where it's not too easy, it's not too hard. It feels like that Goldilocks sweet spot. For 5, 4, 3, 2, reach and come back in. Find a little bit of stillness in the body. Slow the breath. Inhaling for 3, exhaling for 6. We're getting a little bit more crazy here with our movement. So reaching for the blocks and placing them, just one block I think, and placing it right in between your feet there. I'm going to move these chairs out of the way so y'all can see me back here. And I can see you. All right, feet are going to be a little wider than hip width distance apart. So taking the feet and bringing them wide, and then allowing your, once again, your knees and your ankles to be stacked. So if your knees are in, that's not going to give you that foundation. So you might want to bring the feet back in so you have that nice stacked joints in the body. letting the shoulders melt down and hands coming to the sides of the body. Begin to activate this core muscle. We're going to be lifting the arms up, hinging forward, grabbing that block, and then bringing that block back up. So we're going to activate the core and the microfidus muscles along the lower sacrum and spine. So if this doesn't feel good, don't do it. Take it to the degree that does, or skip it, right? Inhaling a nice tall spine, melting the shoulders down and away. Inhale, lifting your arms up overhead, bringing your biceps close to your ears. Exhale, hinge forward, straight spine, sending your tailbone back as you hinge forward. And then when you can't go anymore, reach your arms down, grab a hold of that block. Then bringing your biceps back by your ears, block overhead. Use your strength of your core muscles and the foundation of your feet to lift back up to a seated position. Inhale, reaching forward, straight spine. Exhale, let the block set down onto the ground. Inhale, the hands, the biceps back by your ears, and slowly rise as you exhale. Inhale, hinging forward. Exhale, reach for the block. Inhale, lift the block up, and exhale, sit back up. Inhale, reaching forward, just moving, honoring your body in a way that feels right for you. If it's too intense, you can skip picking up the block. You can bring the block into your heart space instead of lifting it up overhead. You can take whatever variation that works for you. If you want to just bring that block up and in, you can. Our goal is to work the core as well as find some different strength here through the arms, the shoulders. And moving at your own pace as you reach down, finding the variation that works best. Being mindful of your movement, because how you move becomes a superpower when you have the awareness of how you move. And with that awareness, you start to understand the way that your body moves, so that keeps you safe from slipping or falling. You may be able to catch yourself if there's a trip. And keep going to the degree that feels right for you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and finish out your round, letting that block set back down. And then meeting once again, hands at heart center. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Let yourself recover. And then heel toeing the feet back in, hip width distance apart. If that block is still there, you might want to move it out of the way. We're going to add on to that crunching. Scooting a little towards the edge of your seat. So where we were marching before, this time we're going to add a little crunch as we lift. Lifting and crunching. So whenever you're ready to begin, you're inhaling and then crunching with your exhale. And taking it to the speed that feels right for you, the crunch level that feels right. Again, finding that Goldilocks sweet spot. And if you'd like to get a little bit more crazy with it, you can add an elbow, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Just taking to what feels right for your body. Not too easy, not too hard. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we've made it. Maybe take a little back bend here in your seat. Any other movement that feels good into the body. All right, still working into the core, coming back to that stillness, finding that 90-degree foundation with the left leg. Inhale, extending the right leg long, opposite arm reaches out. And just give it a little pulse. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, let that leg go. Little windshield wiper if that feels good. We'll do the same thing on the other side, finding some stillness. Inhale, lift that left leg long, right arm reaches, and a few little pulses. Exhaling as you pulse together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, let that rest. A little windshield wiper. Whew, how's it feeling? All right, let's get a little twist or rotation into that spine. So taking your left hand across to the right side, reach your right hand straight out in front of you. Inhaling, exhaling, open towards the right side. Inhale back to neutral. And exhale as you open. Inhale, neutral. And exhale, open. Inhale, neutral. And then switching out your arms. Right hand crosses the left side, left arm reaches. Inhaling and exhaling to open. Inhale, close. Exhale, open. Inhale to the front. Exhale to the back. Inhale back to the front, and then taking your right hand across to the left side, your left hand across to the right side, crossing the arms, and then keeping a hold of your costume or your leg if you can. Just gently lean back, tucking your tail under, tucking your chin, rounding and curving the spine as much as feels right in your body. And then inhale, coming back to neutral. Hands come back to the right side of their body. Take a slow breath in, slow breath out. And then we'll make our way to a standing position, just standing up, nothing fancy today. And then we're going to move so that the tall side of your seat is facing you. So you'll stand right behind your tall side of your seat. And if your blocks are in the way, just set them off to the side. All right, so standing with the chair in front of you. My chair's off to the side, but yours is going to be right in front of you. We're going to do a little back bend. So taking the feet a little wider than hip distance apart, maybe shoulder width. And then inhaling, lifting the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, reaching for little tiny pockets on your backside. And then squeezing your shoulders, sending your elbows to the back of the room, engaging this core muscle. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, send your hips forward, lift your sternum. Maybe your gaze lifts as well. Releasing that lower back. Inhale, coming back to a neutral. Reaching there for the back of your chair. Oh, here we go. All right, we're going to start tapping out, little marching again. So we did this while we were seated, but we're going to build onto it. So as we're marching, just kind of find this cadence. And maybe your knees lift up a lot, maybe they don't, just a little, just taking it to what feels right for you. And then start to add a little bit more onto it, taking your opposite hand to your opposite leg. Little brain-body balance. So this grows and reconnects the neural networks in the brain that allows you to remember how to balance and how to walk. Pulling in this core muscle, tall spine. Knocking things around, it's okay, as long as you're fine. All right, keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find a little stillness coming back to your mountain. Feet like the number 11. And then just finding an easy mountain in the body, allowing your breath to start to slow down. Inhales for 3, slower exhales for 6. One more round, this breath for you. All right, we're going to need a little bit more space on the mat. So if you would turn so that your right hand is at the back of the chair and you're facing your left side. All right, taking your feet, your hand's going to be there at the chair for some balance. You're not too far from it. And then just start marching again. We're going to add those tap outs and reach across while we're marching. But just to find this cadence within your body here where we march, and then we'll add the tap outs. So march, march, tap out to the right, tap back in, march, march, tap to the left, bring it back in, march, march, tap to the right, tap to the left. I guess it's a march, 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 tap, march, 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 tap. And then when you're ready, building upon this to add that reach across, march, march, tap, reaching across with your opposite hand as your foot is out, and then bringing that back in. March, 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 tap, reaching across, bringing it back in. March, march, tap, reach across. And then finding a bit of a cadence here as you're starting to go. Maybe you're going a little faster. Maybe you get into the rhythm of it. Maybe you find this inner dance music going on. Taking it to the degree that feels good for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing down your march, taking the feet wide, feet a little wider still, a little wider, maybe, I don't know, as wide as feels comfortable. Toes might be a little neutral or they might be pointed out. And then we're going to start to take this a little bit more. So leaning, reaching across with your right hand across to the left side and bringing that back in and then switching it out. So the feet aren't moving yet. Just reaching across. So you're getting this kind of cadence. You're reaching so that you feel that stretch along the opposite side of the body. If you're reaching with your right hand, you'll feel that stretch down into your waist, your hip. Now let's add on to it. As you're reaching across, lift that heel on that opposite side. So lifting. And finding this cadence here, as you start to get going, you might add a little goddess squat or horse squat in the middle of those lunges. Lunging down, reaching across, and squat. Adding some thigh work in there. Pull in your core muscle. Remember to keep breathing. Activating that transverse abdominis to protect the microfidus muscles, the sacrum, the lumbar spine. Your thighs aren't burning yet, are they? Just a little. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach across, coming to your squat. Got your little squat. Now just bring your awareness into that transverse abdominis. Bring that muscle back in. If you need that chair to hold on to. And then just open the knees a little bit wider. Couple of squats here. Maybe you get a little bounce. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, reaching the arms in opposite directions, finding that star pose. Slow breath in. And exhale. Find your squat once again, reaching for that chair if you need. Cactus the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus, goddess pose. Inhale, lift. And exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, reach for the stars. And exhale, hands coming back down to center. Heel toe the feet together, grabbing a hold of the back of that chair if you need. Whew, how's it feeling? How's the back? Little sore? All right, so let's turn so that our hands are at the back of the chair. I'm just going to move mine so that the camera is not on my butt. And then bringing your hands to the back of the chair, we're going to take a down dog. So walking your feet back, sending your tailbone back, and a micro bend or a big bend into the knees. So your tailbone is back and your arms are outstretched forward, reaching for that chair. Little to no weight in the hands onto the back of that chair. Just feel this stretch into the body. Organic movement if you need. Slow breath in. Slower breath out. One more breath for you. And finding stillness in your movement. Gently walk your feet forward once again, making your way back towards the chair. We're moving into our warrior series. So right foot is going to stay forward. Left foot is going to step back further than you think. The toes are going to be facing towards the outside of the mat so that your hip is open. And then bending into the right knee and making sure that right knee is stacked over the ankle and you can see the inside of your foot. That gives you that stability into the knee. And then sending your energy into the front foot and the back foot. So you're putting both equal weight on both feet and engaging the muscles like you're going to rip that mat apart. It gives you the foundation here. Pull in your transverse abdominis. And when you're ready, reaching your right arm forward, your left hand back. Your right arm can rest there on the chair if you need a little extra support. And then imagine that you are pulling your fingers in opposite directions. Squeezing the shoulder blades, letting them melt down away from the ears, activating your core muscle. Warrior 2. From here, we'll move to an extended side angle. Inhale, reaching forward. When you can't go any further, let your right hand rest to the back of the chair, lifting the left hand up. External rotation of the shoulder, so high-fiving the direction that you're facing. If you'd like to take a bind, reaching that hand behind your back, and then peeling the left shoulder open a little more. Using the strength of your obliques to hold this posture, holding your torso where it's at. Inhale, releasing your bind if you took that hand behind your back. Exhale, returning to a warrior 2. Straightening your front leg. Inhale, flip your right palm up. Exhale, reverse triangle. Reaching and breathing into the whole right side lung. Inhale, coming back to a warrior 2, recommit to that bend in the front leg. Cartwheel your left hand down to meet the back of that chair, and then step the back foot to meet the front. Nice and slow. I'm going to move my chair, so I'm switching my directions. We'll do the same thing on the other side. This time the left foot stays front, the right foot steps back, toes facing the side of the mat. I've just moved my chair. The queen. All right, and then bending your left knee and finding that stacking sensation. Hip is open on the right side. And then when you're ready to reach your arms in opposite directions, left arm over the left thigh, right arm to the back, activating this transverse abdominis, squeezing the shoulder blades down, releasing them from your neck, reaching your fingers in opposite directions, long arms. And can you sink down just a little bit further? Extended side angle, inhale, reach forward towards the front of the room. When you can't go any further, let your left hand meet the chair, right hand high fives the direction that you're facing, or bind that right hand behind the back. Peel the right shoulder open. Pull in the transverse abdominis, activate the obliques, grounding in through the earth with your feet. Inhale to release that bind if you took it, bringing the right hand back to the sky. And exhale, returning to a warrior two. Straightening your front leg. Inhale, flip your left palm up. Exhale, reverse triangle. Breathing into the whole left side, feeling the stretch all along the left side of the body. Inhale, coming back to warrior two, hand to the back of the chair, cartwheeling your right hand and stepping the back foot to meet the front. Whew. How'd that feel? Pretty intense? All right, we got a few more movements here before we make our way back to the seat. We'll do all right, let's do a balancing, move into our balancing postures here. So reaching for your block and bringing those blocks to the side of your mat. So turning so that your right hand is there at your mat and bringing your blocks in front. We're going to be using the blocks to place our feet on just for a little stability. And then we're going to open the hip and bring that foot back. So balance and hip movement. So rooting down through the right foot. Inhale the left thigh parallel to the earth if you can get it. Let your foot rest onto that block if you need that support. And then finding your balance. If you feel good there, maybe you flex that left foot. Using your core, your hip flexor. Inhale as you open that left knee out to the side. Exhale as you bring the left knee back in, resting the foot there on the block if you need. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Keep moving at the pace that feels natural for you. I'm going to bring these. That way it's a little bit bigger foot rest. Opening and closing. Being mindful of where your movement originates for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg back to the front side before stepping down. Whew, how's it feel? And needing a little stretch, taking the feet wide. Maybe some Shaolin circles, sending the hips forward and back. Big circles stretching across the whole front side of the hip. And reversing direction if you haven't done so already. And then finding some stillness, letting your body land here. And we'll work into this left side once again, this time taking the foot out to the side. So foot out to the side, leg is straight, toes are pointed. Activating this core muscle. When you're ready, just flex that left foot and see if you can lift it just a little and lower it back down, pointing the toes to connect with the earth. Flexing and lifting, pointing and lowering. Didn't know you were getting dance classes today. Keep going for 5. These are really intense. 4, 3, 2, can even just be a little bit of a movement. 1, let your toes connect and then bring your leg back in. Whew, how's that feeling? Releasing the right side, the left side. Maybe you find those marches. All right, now let's grow a glute muscle. So turning, so your hands are at the back of the chair, rooting down through your right foot. Take the left foot back behind you, toes connect there with the ground, activating the core muscle. We're going to just point the toes on the left foot and lift just a little and lower back down. Lift and lower. So we're not sending the body forward as we're lifting. We're just isolating the glute muscle and all of these micro muscles along the lower spine. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, bring that foot together, bend into the knees, take a down dog, stepping your feet back, stretching the lower spine. Those are big muscles, tiny movements. One more big breath in for yourself, releasing that breath. And your next inhale, coming back to meet the back of your chair. How are you feeling? How's the back feeling, okay? All right. We're going to do it on the other side. So turning so that your, your left hand is at the back of the chair. Yeah, if you'd like the blocks, you can bring the blocks with you. We're going to be rooting down through your left leg and lifting the right. All right, so rooting down through that left leg, activating the core muscles. When you're ready, inhale, lifting the right thigh, putting your foot on that block if you have it there, or flexing the foot, balancing, challenging your balance. If you'd like to take one hand or one finger just to the back of the chair. And when you're ready, inhaling, opening and closing. Opening and closing. Activating the core muscle to provide the strength in the lumbar spine, the lower back. Lifting tall through your spine, rooting down through that standing leg. Keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let that leg come back to the front. Step down, wiggle it out. Maybe some Shaolin circle. Now, did I forget something? Did I forget these straight leg lifts? Nobody's going to speak up. Okay, I don't remember either. All right, so let's take it then out to the side. So taking the toes out to the side, nice straight leg, pulling in that transverse abdominis. And when you're ready, perhaps you just lift that toe or just flex the foot so you're balancing with your leg out to the side. If you'd like to lift that point, flex and point, so you're also activating your shin and your calf muscles. So lifting and flexing, inhaling and lowering and pointing. Kind of figuring out your movements with your foot can be some, like a brain massage. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, let that land. Dance it out. Wiggle it out, maybe some of those big wide leg Shaolin circles. Feels good in the hip flexors, lumbar spine. All right, coming back to stillness, we're going to work on that glute muscle on your right side. So stepping back close to the back of the chair or staying with your right hand at the chair. Whichever feels best for you. We're going to take that right leg back, toes point, straight leg, activating this core muscle, and then lifting that right foot just off of the ground, just enough to activate all the micro muscles underneath the glute, and then tapping it back down, lifting and lowering. And continue breathing. Perhaps exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower. And keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting that leg come back down. If it feels good. Down dog, sending your hips back, stretching out that lower spine, knees bent, sending the tailbone back as you reach the fingers forward. And if it feels good in this down dog, to gently bend the right knee, the left knee, feeling the stretch along the whole of your lower back, your hips. And taking one more slow breath in and out. And on your next inhale, slowly making your way back up towards the back of your chair. And then drawing that chair back to the back of your mat. And as we make our way back into our seats, just tight roping one foot in front of the other to the top of the mat, challenging your balance, and then backing up into your seat and making your way back down. Oh, how was that feeling on the lower back? Need a little stretching there. It's big work on that lower back. We're going to make our way to a little child's pose, so feet hip-width distance apart. Now in child's pose, couple of different variations here. You can bring your forearms to your thighs, maybe bring your hands into that prayer mudra for some reverence and rest your forehead onto your fingertips. Or if you'd like to go a little deeper in your seated child's pose, you can forward fold, bringing your chest close to your thighs, hands reaching for the blocks or the ground. And let your head and neck be soft. And tuning into what your body needs. Perhaps a little gentle sway side to side feels good. Just acknowledging what your body might need and building trust with yourself. And finding stillness in your movement. And slowly making your way back up to a seated position, one hand to one thigh, the other hand to the other thigh, all the way back up. Letting any sparkles float by. And from here, we'll take a little figure 4. So reaching a couple different variations for figure 4. So reaching for that right leg, left leg can be at a 90-degree angle. Right leg pulls in, and then taking the right ankle across to the left thigh is one variation. If that doesn't work, you can straighten the left leg, take that ankle across to the shin or across the thigh. If that doesn't work, you can just cross the ankles or even bring a block to the inside of your left foot and rest the side of your foot on that block. Just to allow this right side hip to open. And no matter what position you have, start to bring that awareness into this whole right side, the right thigh, the right hip, and then start to soften that side down, softening the muscles around the hip, the knee. Let your shoulders release down. And then when you're ready, lengthening the spine on your inhale and exhaling, hinging forward from your hips until you feel that hips start to tighten up, and then pause. Consciously see if you can invite more softness to the right side. And then over time, as you start to feel the softness, you might be able to hinge forward just a bit more. But be easy. We're not forcing or pushing or reaching for sensation. We're allowing just the expanse of time to do its work here. And as we hold these postures for 90 seconds or more, we start to activate something called the fibroblasts in the body. And the fibroblasts bring in more collagen and elastin to your muscles, to your ligaments, your tendons. It also brings in more hyaluronic acid and more hydration. So really improving the flexibility of your body, bringing in that fountain of youth quality. And softening the shoulders, softening the jaw, the tongue. You may notice that your whole right side starts to soften. Taking one round of breath, a slow inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, making your way back up to a seated position, unhooking your figure four. And if it feels good, taking some supported hip circles, moving in both directions, or windshield wipers, whatever your body needs here. And then coming to some stillness with that right leg. And then reaching for the left leg, bringing the left leg in and across. Taking any variation of figure four that feels good for you. And allowing this whole left side to start to soften down. See if you can invite your shoulders to soften, your elbows to soften, and allow the whole left side to just release. And when you're ready, lengthening the spine, perhaps hinging forward just a little, taking it to that moment where you feel that left side start to tense up, and then consciously softening again. Every exhale, an opportunity to soften through the body, let something go. Taking a slow breath in through the nose, and exhale out the mouth. And on your next inhale, slowly coming back to a seated position, releasing that figure four and some guided hip circles. And finding some stillness here in the body. We'll take a little twist. Moving towards the edge of your seat so you have some room. And inhale as you lift the arms up overhead, lengthening the spine. Exhale, rotating towards your right, letting your right hand connect with the chair, left hand across to the right thigh. And just see where you may need to Deepen into the stretch, releasing a gentle movement if that feels good. Inhaling, unwind both hands, reach for the stars, and exhaling over to the left. Inhaling, slowly unwind, releasing and bringing the hands back towards the sky. We'll take a little back bend, sending your heart forward, reaching back safely here in your seat. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Exhale, hands down to heart center. And then making your way to your favorite Shavasana shape, whether you're seated in your seat, a block behind the spine, feet up on blocks, or laying down. Whatever shape Shavasana feels the best for you, making it yours. And as you start to settle down into your seat, just allowing yourself to get all the wiggles, the shakes out, any final movements that your body is calling for. And as you start to move into a space of peace within you, allowing your eyes to gently close, taking in a slow breath. And as you exhale, softening down, making your way to Shavasana. Slowly returning to the awareness of your breath. Deepening into the breath, drinking in a deeper sip of air, and exhaling everything, letting it all float out. Inviting tiny micro movements back into the body, the fingers, the toes. Perhaps turning your head to the left, the right, or side to side. And allowing some light to come back into the eyes. And if you'd like to join me in allowing your hands to float to the sides of your body and inhaling as you scoop up all of this transformation you've brought into your body, knowing that you have been transformed by your practice today, exhaling your hands down into heart center. And we'll close with a quote from the book, The Way Forward by Young Pueblo. Realize how short the walk is from gratitude to happiness. And if you are called and it's in your practice to draw your thumbs to your third eye, your forehead, we'll bow towards the divine light within each of us. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you're all feeling good, and hopefully you're not too sore tomorrow. You might be. Little extra water, little extra stretchies, maybe a Epsom salt bath. Stretchies. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.